what's that doing there? That's in the wrong place. You naughty thing. I became interested in typography because when I was an undergraduate many years ago at the university where I was studying, the librarian of the university acquired a cast iron Columbian press. So that's how it started. Later on, I was able to acquire a small press of my own. This was back in Brisbane, in Queensland, where I came from. But I had to leave all that behind when I came over to England. And since then I've acquired more type cases, spacing, blocks, equipment and all the stuff that you need for doing a bit of typography. Right, the words are going in now and they're going to stay in. Good. To make a set of types, a punch cutter starts with a piece of hard metal, such as a piece of steel, and physically cuts with small chisels or whatever the outline of the letter that you need. And then that punch is stamped into a softer metal, such as a piece of copper, to make a matrix. When the matrix is put into a hand mould and the molten metal is then poured into the mould, you then have a piece of type which has again the character in reverse, so that when printed it will come out the right way round. And every piece of type was made in that way right up until almost the present day. They've almost all gone out of business now, including, unfortunately, Sheffield's own famous type founder, Stevenson Blake, who had material that went all the way back to the early 18th century. They had a very, very big, comprehensive range of types when this was produced in 1914. So let's lay out a bit of ink. Too much, I hope. Well, most printing now is done by using the offset process. A layer of ink is deposited on top of the paper, and although it can appear to be quite sharp, it lacks the sort of quality of impression that one gets using foundry types. The big difference, I think, comes in the careful inking of the types and the fact that you can adjust your press so that you can get just the amount of impression into the paper that you need. Too much impression into the paper doesn't look very good, and particularly if you are then going to use the other side of the paper to back it up with the corresponding page on that side. Let's hope we get a good impression. Not bad, not bad. It does seem that there has been a certain revival of hand set and hand printed material because of the challenge, I suppose, of designing something, what typeface you choose, what size of type you want, how to suit the appearance on the page. So there is a certain aesthetic quality to it.